Wake Forest Demon Deacons try to string together 4 straight wins. They go out of conference against the VMI Keydets out of the Southern Conference. And it is so great to have you with us for our game this evening. Tom Wormy along with the All-American from Duke, Mike Jaminski. And let's start with VMI and Jake Stevens. Mike, he is the reigning Player of the Week in the Southern Conference.
Tom, you know how I like talking about centers, and VMI has a good one. He is coming off a terrific game against Gardner-Webb. Jake Stevens, big presence inside, but he likes to float a little bit. He does have three-point range, a factor inside at the rim as well, and rebounds extraordinarily well. And we see the stats from his game against Gardner-Webb: 28 points, 16 rebounds, and 6 blocks in that win.
Yeah, and Wake Forest has a player of its own, Mike, who put up a pretty robust stat line in their last game Saturday against USC Upstate, and that's Alondas Williams, the first triple-double in school history since 1996.
Yeah, Tim Duncan, the last one to do it, but Williams, you know, we were watching that second half, and he was inching closer, and the thing was the bench knew that he was close as well, and he was really dishing, trying to get those last 2 assists, but a terrific all-around game for him. Career-high rebounds and assists.
He found Walton inside for that assist to get to 10 and the triple-double as we check out the Fresh Market. Discover the best feature of the game, and Alondas Williams, what an addition he has been to Wake Forest and part of their early season success and putting up the triple-double again, the first one since 1996, and Tim Duncan. We'll see those 2 players go head-to-head. It's VMI and Wake Forest. This is ACC basketball from Winston-Salem, North Carolina. When we come back, we'll have those starting lineups, the opening tip, the Deeks, and the Keydets.
ACC College Basketball is brought to you by your local Ford dealer. By Blue Cross and Blue Shield of North Carolina, we resolve to continue stepping up for you and your family. And by the Fresh Market, voted #1 best supermarket in America.
Moments away from the 24th all-time meeting between the programs, and we take a look at tonight's starting lineups brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. And we start with the Keydets, and Camden Kerfman averages close to 18 points per game. That's 4th best in the Southern Conference, and he leads the team in scoring at his guard position. Take a look at tonight's starting lineup for the Wake Forest Demon Deacons, brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. And how about Hadim C, the graduate student from Dakar, Senegal, gets his first start of the season, although Mike Jaminski, he plays significant minutes off the bench. He did that against USC Upstate with 7 points and 6 boards in 26 minutes coming off of the bench.
That's a very big starting lineup out there for Wake Forest. But keys to the game, VMI, you got to match the physicality of Wake Forest. And the Deacons defend a 3. You will see VMI shooting a ton of 3s tonight. They've got to drive them off that line.
Those are the Ford keys to the game with Mike Jaminski. The opening tip is controlled by the Keydets in the traveling red. The old goal, black and white for the Wake Forest Demon Deacons.
Tom, it was interesting watching VMI warm up before. Very few shots in the paint area. Everybody practicing from behind the arc.
They will take a lot of 3s, but they turn it over. Williamson had a steam to the basket, and he lost the ball. There's your first 3 from the Keydets, and that'll be a long rebound to Williams.
Probably won't be much of an offensive rebounding presence for VMI in this game. They just want to get back, and Wake Forest and stepping out of bounds.
So the head coach, Dan Earl, in his 7th season for VMI. He has coached against 7 ACC opponents previously, and he's 0-7 against the Atlantic Coast Conference. They won 13 games last season, went 7-7 in conference play.
Let's have a history against Steve Forbes, too.
Three-pointer from the corner. That's another miss for VMI. Conway missed that one. Williamson trying to work off of that Walton screen. They're working around the perimeter, and he gets it back.
Matchup zone right now by VMI.
Shot clock inside of 10. Mucius from the corner, launching and missing on the weak side. There is no contest for the rebound. Bonham on the handle. Tried to get it to Stevens. Instead, they settle for the three, and that's not a problem. Knocking it down, Tanner Mans.
It's 40% from behind the arc, and they've got, I know early on in this game, but they've got some good looks from behind the arc.
They make almost 13 threes per game, G-Man. That is best in the SoCon and second best in college basketball, and Wake Forest throws it out of bounds.
That's what Dan Earl really has established here with this team, and it's very much similar to what they were last year. A three-point shooting club. They take care of the basketball. Matchup zone as well.
VMI with the early lead in the opening minutes of this matchup. Again, they launch a three. Again, they hit. That is Kerfman. And a timeout, Steve Forbes.
And this is a little wake-up timeout right here. Steve Forbes very animated about the looks that VMI is getting from behind the three-point line. I'm sure his language is a little more colorful than mine just was, but you get the drift.
Camden Kerfman hit that last one. Nobody takes more or makes more than Kerfman, number 10 in that huddle, the junior from Bethesda, Maryland. And a couple of three balls represent the scoring so far for the Keydets.
Tom, we saw this against South Carolina upstate. I thought it was a pretty slow first half for Wake Forest. And there you see right there, that's in Division I, mind you, 12.6 threes per game.
They only made 7 out of 29 attempts, Mike, in their most recent game. That win Saturday at home against Gardner-Webb, but they won it by 3, 64-61.
Fewest they've made this year.
Wake Forest coming off of the victory Saturday against USC Upstate, 79-53. A 26-point decision, and they shot 45% as a team. In fact, they lead the ACC in field goal percentage as a team, but that's another miss. Williamson inside.
I'll tell you what, the Wake Forest has struggled in the half court so far against that defense that's not really getting much at the rim and no offensive rebounding at all.
Stevens trying to work the interior around Walton. Well defended. Bounces off the rim and a foul called against the Keydets in the aftermath of the miss.
And Stevens will get that foul too, and those are the kind that he cannot pick up. They need him on the floor. He had no chance of getting that offensive rebound, and you pick up a silly foul.
So Jake Stevens, the senior from Bunker Hill, West Virginia. He is the leading rebounder on the team at 8 per game and third best in the Southern Conference. Again, Demon Deek trying to work that perimeter. C with an out-of-control drive and an offensive foul.
That's what happens when you get frontline players, and C is more of a controlled back-to-the-basket guy, but just too many dribbles right there, and that was really solid defense by Stevens to step in. Not a shot blocker, although he did have 6 in his last game, but I think against this level competition, he's going to take charges rather than get blocks.
Yeah, those 6 blocks tied his career high at the other end. Driving and scoring and accelerating to the rim. And don't look down, but it's 8-0 VMI.
Yeah, Trey Bonham that time. And that's what happens when you get a spread offense into three-point shooting. There are a lot of driving lanes.
Musius trying to duck under, and he'll earn free throws on the drive by Musius.
Here's the look. You see, just there's nobody back, no help, and that was just a straight line drive, giving up the right hand.
Isaiah Musius, the senior, played his prep ball at Brewster Academy in New Hampshire. Just his 14th free throw attempt of the season. He has made 11 after that one.
Shooting the ball better. I mean, you look at his numbers, high 30s on the year, but 9 of 18 in his last 3 games from the floor, so seeing a little bit bigger basket.
Yeah, 4 of 5 in that win against USC Upstate on Saturday from Musius, who connects on both free throws. Keydets are 7-4 on the season, 2-3 away from Lexington, Virginia. Bonham kept it alive.
The smallest guy in the court gets an offensive rebound and a 3.
Kerfman with the 3, his second of the game. Williams, mid-range, and he hits it.
Yeah, that's the one thing that, VMI is giving up a lot of height at each position, and Williams should be feeling pretty good about his game after that triple-double against Upstate.
Witt could not defend and driving it and scoring bottom.
And that's what, if they're going to live off that, they'll score off the drive, and he's going to be able to kick out and see jump shooters.
Musius trying to operate in the paint. Hildreth stepping back for a three. Long rebound. Musius tries to save it. Stepped on the line prior to the save. VMI ball. And a timeout on the court. The Keydets have made 3 3-pointers, and Bonham taking it to the rim. 13-4 VMI.
Vivid Seats, your ticket to soul-raising, heart-racing, 100 beats per minute. What are we wearing? Once-in-a-lifetime memories in the making. Bumps like a goose brisket for tailgating. Reach for the universe, rapid breathing. Can't catch my breath, top of lungs singing. This is it. The moment is now. Can you believe it? Wow. Get your tickets at Vivid Seats. Life happens live.
As a professional bull rider, I'm used to taking chances. But when it comes to my insurance, I don't. I use Liberty Mutual. They customize your car insurance so you only pay for what you need. And by switching, you can even save $665.
Hey, Tex. Can someone else get a turn?
Yeah, hang on. I'm about to break my own record. Yeah! Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
The Keydets with the 13-4 lead. Mike Jaminski, 9 times this season they've hit 10 threes or more in a game, and they're well on their way so far.
Yeah, right. It's been Bonham off the drive, and then everybody else behind the arc. 3 of 6 to start this game, Tom, and that's their MO, and it's a pretty good plan right now as you see Dan Earl looking on. He's got to be extremely happy with this start, and what it is, your team has all of a sudden got confidence shooting in this building.
They've made 5 of their last 7 field goals. Kerfman, Mans, and Conway have the threes. They go backdoor up and under, and it drops for Kerfman.
And that backdoor is going to be there. And see, for Kerfman, then, you got to honor that three-point shot. He's knocked down a couple already, and that just opens up the back door.
He's got 5 points in the early going. He is the leading scorer for the Keydets. Walton kept it alive and found Musius.
That's the one thing Dan was concerned about was offensive rebounding by Wake Forest. You can recycle there, but solid defensive possession.
Witt missed the 3. He was 4 of 7 from beyond the arc in the game on Saturday against USC Upstate. He'd only made 3 threes coming into the game, but connected 4 times, misfiring on his first attempt. Out of the corner and the miss. Witt trying to run in transition. Walton stepping back. We saw him hit a 3 on Saturday, Mike, against the Spartans.
They have not been able to penetrate that defense.
0 for 4 on 3-point attempts for Wake Forest.
Travel. One thing right there, you'll see him bring up there, and there's that back door. Beautiful pass, nice finish using the rim. You're undersized, you're going to go underneath and come up on the other side. No help there. Walton was lifted away from the play. Clean look.
Williams could not recover defensively. Wake Forest with the basketball and trailing 15-4. This is the largest home deficit of the season for the Demon Deacs, who are undefeated on their home floor this year after the win against the Spartans from USC Upstate on Saturday. 7-0 at home.
With this start offensively, I don't know if that's what you want, is 2 threes from Walton early in the shot clock.
Yeah, Walton's only made 5 threes all season. There's another 3. Stepping back, Stevens was able to hit that one, Mike.
Yeah, he knocked it down 43% on the year, and he's got a formidable defender in Walton, so I think he wants to get outside, establish himself as a 3-point shooter.
Musius halfway down and out. Keydets box out and come away with the basketball. Stevens, we know about his interior prowess. He's now made 21 three-pointers and trying to set the screen on Witt. Tang sent it inside. Right back out. Watkins. Shot clock is down to 7. Williams pulls it down. Williams, the leading rebounder as well for Wake Forest. Hildreth ripping the ropes for the Demon Deeks. And a 3.
You know what? He really needed that shot badly. 11 points total, Tom, in his last 5 games. Have really been in a drought scoring. This crowd just desperate to, have something to latch onto, and also Wake hasn't gotten anything out in the open floor.
First 3 of the game for the Demon Deeks, and how about Camden Kerfman? He's into double digits with that three-pointer.
He got some great looks, got his confidence up.
Eight points for Kerfman. He's connected on a couple of three-pointers. Walton trying to back in against the double. Back out to Hildreth. Lines it up again and comes up short. VMI shot just 35% of that victory on Saturday at home against Gardner-Webb. But as Mike mentioned, season low in makes and percentage from beyond the arc. There's a miss, Kerfman. Shot just 27% from three-point range. They are 5 of 12 in this game so far. Demon Deeks are 1 of 8, Mike, in long-distance shots. Walton trying to work the baseline, and that pass goes out of bounds.
Yeah, there wasn't anybody in the vicinity that time.
Camden Kerfman, 41% from beyond the arc, and that is all net for the Keydets, trying to quiet the crowd.
We can't help you perfect your pie crust or bake the world's greatest banana bread, but we can help you find the sweet spot between your everyday expenses and your retirement goals. With our guidance and insights, we'll help you put together a recipe for the retirement you want. At T. Rowe Price, we know retirement, not baking. Explore your options with our financial consultants today at troprice.com.
I asked the best modern-day explorers, take me to the ends of the earth. They said, we can go further than that.
This is a bucket list moment.
What is that?
Well, ready? Yes, sir.
I almost guarantee you're going to survive.
First half with a 21-7 lead against Wake Forest. Time for our Honda Startup feature of the game, brought to you by the Honda dealers of the Carolinas. And coming into the game, Mike, Wake Forest impressive in the ACC ranks, but they have struggled so far tonight against the Keydets.
Yeah, 81 points a game, and they're going to have to step on the gas pedal to get there. And it's 7 points, 18% field goal shooting. And but right now, the same thing happened on Saturday. You look at Wake, 2 of 11. Of the 11 shots, 8 of them from behind the arc. Now, let's give some props to VMI's defense, because they've really built a wall around that, and Wake has not been able to penetrate.
Wake Forest just 2 of 11 shooting. They've turned it over 5 times, and the Keydets have the basketball. They have made 5 three-point baskets on 12 attempts. But that's what they do. They will shoot the 3 with regularity.
Well, I wonder if this is a game, too, that Dallas Walton won't be playing a lot of because of the nature of their offense and how many threes they do take.
Stevens inside, Witt defending, knocked it away from Tang, who regathers. Shot clock all the way down to 2. Witt takes it for Wake. Williams thought about the shot, trying to drive, and he got bumped on the way by Tanner Mans. First on Mans.
See the drive right here, and then Williams is, and that's the one position that he doesn't have a size advantage, but Mans getting that elbow up a little bit, drawing the foul.
Alondis Williams, the graduate student from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Musius hops into the lane, had it knocked away by Stevens, out of bounds, off the baseline, and VMI basketball.
I thought Wake was energized coming out of that timeout. Movement better on offense. They got a shot inside, but nothing to show for it.
Second-year head coach for the Demon Deacs, Steve Forbes, after such great success at East Tennessee State, where they won 30 games back in 2020. 6-16 under Forbes for Wake Forest a season ago. Trying to convert off the turnover. C ran into trouble, knocked out of bounds by the Keydets, and it will stay with Wake. That was off of Bonham.
VMI's done a nice job of sealing things down low and making passes out of there very difficult.
Another experienced player in that lineup for Wake, Hadim C. Mike. He's played at Ole Miss, also spent some time in the ACC at Virginia Tech.
Not the shot blocker that Walton is in there, but gives him some more quickness and maybe ability to cover out on the perimeter.
And a 50% shooter from the floor as well for Hadim C. Shot clock is down to 5 for Williams. Behind the back dribble, hops to the lane and lays it up and in.
Well, they were looking for a spark, and Alondis Williams has given it to him in the last couple of possessions.
4 points for Williams, and now a traveling violation against VMI.
Man, that was a very late call, which Dan Earl, I mean, it was the right call, but it was extremely late, and that's a nice take off the dribble inside. Again, I think in this game, at this level of competition, that the Keydets aren't going to be a shot blocking factor.
We saw history made on Saturday, thanks to Alondis Williams. 16 points, 14 boards, 10 assists. And the first triple-double since 1996 by Tim Duncan.
It's a points, rebounds, blocks.
It was.
Triple-double, not an easy feat.
The last triple-double with assists for Wake Forest came back in 1960, Len Chappell, but they weren't keeping assists as an official status. C makes the move.
Pretty solid, and all of a sudden Wake's starting to wake up, and Steve Forbes tried to jumpstart him at the 18-minute mark with that quick timeout.
The lead now 10. Defensive wall, Musius. Didn't have the numerical advantage, and that foul will go against VMI.
It's going to be a block.
Musius made his move.
Yeah, no shot on that.
It's the second on Mans. 24 in red. Coach Earl played collegiately at Penn State. I remember covering him, G-Man, as a player back in the mid-90s while working in that part of the country in Pennsylvania.
We were talking all things New Jersey. He's a Jersey guy. So we were talking about Michael Korn and Jim Snarkle from Jersey City. Those Jersey guys stay tight.
Williams on the drive. Got tangled up there under the basket. Coach Earl was also an assistant at Navy and at Penn State.
And he talked about his experience at Navy really prepared him for coaching at VMI. Very similar atmosphere academically on campus as well.
Musius right back to Witt. Entry pass knocked away from C. Ends up with the basketball. First step. Lost the handle. Shot clock at 1.
That possession was going nowhere right from the start. There were about 3 almost turnovers and then a tough shot at the end of the clock.
So the drought almost up to 4 minutes now for VMI. Stevens with a turnaround, and that will end it.
And his left hand, too. Nice move. No double team coming down. Some patience inside.
5 points for Jake Stevens, the senior. 6'11" center. Keydets have had the lead throughout this first half. Witt is open for 3. Whistle prior to the shot.
Second time. You got to really be careful on that sideline 3 because that sideline out of bounds is close. Second turnover they've had like that.
6 turnovers in total in this first half for Wake Forest. Taking on the Keydets from VMI. TC Mike and Alondis Williams.
Yeah, and we see the scoring leaders, and he's right up there at the top. Michael DeVoe leading the way, and Darian Sebron averaging a double-double. One of only 2 in Division I that's averaging a double-double. And then Cameron McGusty right there. I think you're looking with Sebron and Williams is one of 2 triple-doubles in the conference this year.
Wendell Moore from Duke. Yeah, the other
one against Army.
Just 4 points, though, so far this evening for Williams. 2 of 3 from the floor.
He got off to a slow start. I mean, he's not a guy who's going to come out and light it up early. He gets his teammates involved, and he's not going to come out and overwhelm you statistically early.
By the way, Wendell Moore and Duke, the number 2 team in the nation and the only ACC team in the rankings, in action tonight after a 2-week layoff against South Carolina State, part of the schedule in the ACC.
They also have a receiving votes part of it. In North Carolina, the only school in the ACC receiving votes as well. So we're down right now as far as presence on that board.
Although the Tar Heels are working on a 4-game winning streak.
Yep.
In fact, the Wake Forest 3-game winning streak is best in the conference behind North Carolina and Miami, who have both won 4 in a row. So that foul was on Conway, his second. Hildreth's at the free throw line for the Demon Deacs. Cameron Hildreth from Worthing, England, the freshman. 80% for the free throw line on the season for Hildreth.
I like his toughness. And, I talked about his struggles offensively, but a young guy who really it hasn't affected the other parts of his game. A lot of especially freshmen, they're not seeing the ball go in the basket. Everything else drops off. But love the energy that he brings to the floor.
5 points for Hildreth. Haven't seen Jake LaRavia so far for Wake Forest. He had started the previous 10 games, not in the starting lineup.
C started in his place.
Williams to the corner. Williamson. Catch and shoot. Hildreth. There's some toughness, Mike, on the old boards.
Anticipating that shot, the miss on the weak side.
Williams. He'll knock it down just inside the arc.
During this stretch, Wake waking up a little bit offensively, but also defensively much better on the 3-point shot. And that one was well defended, too.
Kerfman not shy about the shot. He's got 11 into double digits for Kerfman.
And he shouldn't be shy the way he's shooting. 3 of 5 from behind the arc.
Kerfman shoots 46% from the field on the season. Williamson rolls off to Stevens. Told you Wake is the best shooting team in the ACC, but struggling so far at 28%. Basket and foul, Keydets.
But Bonham has just been able to get inside at will off the dribble. And Honor Huff that time to finish. Backdoor from Huff, beautiful play. Showing a lot of strength. This is the thing, VMI, they're either going to score off that or they will kick weak side for an open 3. So just because you're giving up a backdoor doesn't mean that's the last pass.
Williams picked up the foul for Wake. And that is Huff with the old school 3-point play. He's perfect from the free throw line of the season now. 12 of 12 for the freshman from Brooklyn, New York.
Point guards from New York to be able to finish in the paint somehow.
That's Williams. He'll step back and knock down a 3.
And see, but he's at a point right now, Tom, his team needs him to be overly aggressive offensively. He's the only one producing points.
First 3-point attempt for Williams. Drops and he's got 9 on 4 of 5 shooting. Perfect. Goodness gracious.
Wow, that was from the F in Wake Forest.
Range when he walks in the gym. How about Kerfman? 14 points, leads everybody. Wake gets a 3 at the other end.
That wasn't towing the line either. Nobody getting back defensively.
Huff driving and scoring for the Keydets. We're going up and down the court in the first half.
You've got to identify the guy coming out of the backcourt off the dribble. Here's the look. I mean, look at where he's. That is as deep a three as I've seen in person so far this year.
Well, that line is 22 feet 1 3/4 inches away, and he was way behind it.
That was easily a 30-footer.
So Rowe goes out. Mann's back in for VMI. Williams at the free throw line. 67% on the season from the stripe for Williams. Before the next free throw, a quick message from Works Nitro.
Meet Works Nitro. Powerful tools for any project with gas-like power without the gas. Fueled by PowerShare batteries to give you the power to outperform.
Williams now with 7 of the last 10 points for Wake Forest. He's into double digits. And he has found double digits in scoring in every game this season for Wake. In fact, 4 times he's gone for 20 or more. And that includes a career-high 32, Mike, in a home game against Western Carolina.
They made a switch. They put a bigger Williams on Kerfman, trying to cover him up from the three-point line.
Yeah, but his range is 30 feet away, Mike.
Yeah.
Not the result Bonham was looking for on the long-distance shot.
This is it's turned into a half where whoever is guarding Kerfman is in a no-help situation. I mean, he just leaves his side.
14 points for Kerfman. He leads all scorers. 11 points for Williams. And he's the leading scorer for Wake Forest in this first half. Inside of 4 minutes to go in the first half. So glad that you're with us for ACC basketball. Tom Gormley, along with the All-American from Duke, Mike Jaminski, and our outstanding ACC basketball production crew. And it's Kerfman getting free.
You know what? I mean, it's almost to the point where you'd rather see him do that than knock down a three, give up the layup.
16 points for Camden Kerfman, the junior from North Bethesda, Maryland. And he's almost to his average, Mike. He averages 17.9 per game. Through the hands of Hildreth, out of bounds, and VMI basketball. We have seen this play before from the Keydets, and they make it work to perfection. Bonham to Kerfman. Lays it up and in. He's got 16 points to lead everybody in the first half. Keydets in front.
Vivid Seats, your ticket.
Camden Kerfman, the leading scorer in our game, Mike, 4 of 6 from beyond the arc for Kerfman.
This guy can score in bunches. 27 points against Marist earlier this season, and he came out, got a good look initially from 3, and has not looked back. That one not from North Bethesda, Maryland, where he's from, but he can see it from there. And he's also had 6 threes in a game this year against Central Arkansas. So this is a guy who's been right at the top of the scouting report for Wake Forest.
Huff launching a 3 ball for the Keydets.
Just playing free and easy at this point.
That's 8 points for Huff in his first 3. 8 made threes on 18 attempts in this first half for VMI. Williams.
Williams has 13. The rest of the team has 12. Needs some help.
He'll try the corner pocket 3 ball, and it goes for Huff.
This is a guy, and Huff is probably one of the poorer shooters percentage-wise, 29% on the year.
Huff only averages about 5.5 points per game, Mike, as Williams tries to save it on the baseline. Didn't do it.
You know, and the thing is, though, I asked Dan Earl, I said, what's the difference between your 3 and 4 start and a 4-game winning streak? And he said it's the secondary guys stepped up and really are seeing a big basket. That's what we're here.
And they just reversed that call, Mike. Bert Smith had the initial call, but consulted with Tommy Morrissey, and they have reversed it and given possession to Wake Forest. Williams is 5 of 7 from the floor. Here's Walton. Dallas Walton to miss in the mid-range.
Without Stevens having a big game to this point, only 5 points for him.
So Walton is now 0 for 3 from the floor for the Demon Deacs. And they're shooting just 33% as a team, well below their season average, which leads the conference. Shot clock is at 8 for Stevens. Kerfman wants it. Trying to beat 2 defenders, flips it to the corner, Bonham. Looked like C was going for the ball, Mike, and somebody hit the deck.
Good foul.
He got tangled up with Rowe, so that's the second on C.
Yeah, on the weak side, see right there, and he sold that foul pretty well. It looked like both of them were kind of grappling for position inside.
And so VMI just took a timeout, Mike, after that foul against C. They're up 42-25. This is their largest lead of the first half at 17 points. And 1:49 to go.
Tom, you know, the thing that's impressive to me about VMI, looking at their numbers, that every single player except for Lewis Tang has a positive assist-to-turnover ratio, which means they all can pass and take very good care of the basketball. Only 5 turnovers in this first half. They're running their offense, and they're getting shots.
9 made three-pointers for VMI. Big chunk of their points so far in this first half, leading 42-25. Keydets out of the Southern Conference. Stevens launching a 3. Back iron. Hildreth corrals it. Last time the Keydets beat Wake Forest, Mike, 1940. So you got to go back in the record books quite a ways.
We'll have film of that at halftime highlights. Tom, but both these teams were in the same conference then, in the Southern Conference. Of course, back then, before the ACC was formed in 53.
And it was a really close game, too. 44-43, the final score.
And there were about 26 teams in the Southern Conference, I think, at that point.
A lot of the teams, yeah, through the SEC and ACC kind of funneled their way through the Southern Conference.
I don't know if they played home and home back then.
Walton at the free throw line. 44% for Walton on the season from the stripe, but that represents his first point of the game. And there's point number 2. 0 for 3 from the floor, but 2 for 2 from the free throw line for Dallas Walton, the graduate student. 7-footer, 230 pounds.
But he, you know, his form looks pretty good at the free throw line, better than his percentage reflects.
Rowe trying to back it in. Well defended by Walton. Here's Hildreth with the clearance. And the run-up. Hesitation. Trying to do it himself. And at the very least, able to earn some free throws.
Try to get some sort of spark here. Cut this lead under double figures going into halftime. Get yourself some momentum.
Huff picked up the foul for VMI.
Cameron Hildreth at the line with 2 shots.
80% from the line this season for Hildreth. He's up to 6 points and perfect from the free throw line. 3 for 3. Got awfully quiet in here for a second. Not a problem for Hildreth. 1:13 to go in our first half. Into the lineup, Tanner Mans, 24 in red. Mans with 2 personal fouls as he comes back in. Stevens just 5 points in this first half. Williams high for the board. Witt nowhere to go. Tried to get it back to Williams. Reaching for the ball after the steal by Bonham. And that's the second foul on Williams. VMI not in the bonus with 48 seconds to go in the half.
Well, you know, most of their drives, the few that they've taken have been no foul calls, so it's mostly jump shots.
Stop and start. Bonham had to send it back out. Kerfman. Easy one for Walton.
He would have been better off kicking that out for 3.
Witt in rhythm, not this time. Musius tried to go over the top. Stevens had the position for the rebound.
Witt not getting a little bounce off that game he had against South Carolina Upstate. It's season high 16 points.
Musius tried to knock it away. It went out of bounds and stays with the Keydets. 6.8 on the clock. Williamson in the lineup for the Deeks with just under 7 seconds to go. Again, Wake Forest with its 9-1 record and 7-0 at home. They've won 3 in a row, but they've got some business to attend to here against the Keydets. Hildreth and Kerfman collide.
Had a foul to give. Got another one if they want it.
First on Hildreth.
But you know, it's not like VMI came in and tricked things up in the first half. They are who we thought they'd be.
9 3-pointers, Mike. Kerfman to beat the buzzer. It won't happen. But the Keydets will go to the locker room with a 42-29 lead.
And of that 29, Alondas Williams with 13. He is the only one close to double figures.
Kerfman and Huff got into double digits for VMI. Kerfman with 16. Huff had 11. 9 of 23 from beyond the arc for the Keydets. And they've got the halftime lead in Winston-Salem. The Deeks and the Keydets. Halftime, straight ahead from Joel Allison. Halftime report presented by your local Toyota dealers. The Keydets with the 42-29 lead against the Demon Deeks, who are 7-0 on their home floor. But they really have a lot of work to do, Mike, in this second half. Tom Wormy, Mike Jaminski, and how about 9 made threes by VMI in that first half, Mike, to build that lead?
And the thing you like about that, if you're VMI, you got confidence early, and that carried on through the whole 20 minutes of the first half. They set the tone offensively, and it worked for them.
This is what they do, and Kerfman is fearless so far in that first half, Mike, for the Keydets.
And he came out early. I mean, look at that shot. Is almost from half court, and almost unguardable right there, but 4-7 from 3. Terrific half for him, 16 points. And then really the only offensive star for Wake Forest, Alondas Williams, coming off that triple-double that he had. 5 of 7 shooting, 13 points for him. 3 of 18, the rest of the team from the floor. So desperately needs somebody else to come alive from that Demon Deacon lineup.
Just 32% shooting as we go to our Blue Cross and Blue Shield of North Carolina player comparison, Kerfman and Williams.
Well, and the thing that you look at it, Wake Forest, 5 points in the paint, only 2 fast break points. They've got to manufacture some more easy offense in the second half.
So the Demon Deeks trailing VMI at the half, and when we come back, we'll have Driven with Steve Forbes, the second-year head coach of the Wake Forest Demon Deeks, with work to do in the second half. Driven is straight ahead on the Toyota Halftime Report.
ACC College Basketball is brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Visit your local Toyota dealers today. By CPI Security, CPI Home Security that protects what matters most. And by the Works Nitro, the Works Nitro, available at WorksNitro.com.
The festive holiday scenes in and around Winston-Salem, North Carolina. The Deeks got to pick it up in the second half and trail the Keydets 42-29 as we go around the ACC. Mike Jaminski, Louisville closing in on victory, but look at Furman, also out of the Southern Conference against North Carolina at halftime.
Strong showing by the SoCon here early, but look at Louisville. They're gaining some momentum after the 6-game suspension to start the year for Chris Mack, and Miami of Ohio, impressive against Clemson.
Actually, Furman has a victory against Louisville this season, and Miami of Ohio has defeated Georgia Tech out of the ACC. So some competitive basketball tonight in the ACC. We thank you so much for watching the Toyota Halftime Report presented by your local Toyota dealers. The second half from Winston-Salem is in your future.
If that percentage holds up in the second half, but traditionally a little bit more difficult to make it as this game progresses. But Tom, one name we haven't talked about is Jake LaRavia, who is their second leading scorer, is not in this game and is not present here. I hadn't heard any updates from the Wake Forest people.
Yeah, LaRavia averages 14 points per game, but not available tonight. Demon Deeks perfect from the free throw line in that first half. Lucius gets them started off with the right foot with a three-pointer.
His first field goal of the game. Nice way to start off. Had a couple free throws in the first half.
He can make the three, 36% of the season, Mike, and that's his 19th made three of the year. Kerfman recovers. He's trying to work the perimeter with Bonham. That first step a little too quick and a traveling violation.
And they've got some decent penetration, but then the kick out and much better rotation to three-point shooters and forcing that turnover.
Alondis Williams, the pull up, then he hits it.
Alondis Williams.
15 points now for Williams on 6 of 8 shooting, and that includes a made three-pointer, his 12th of the season.
There's 5 early points, getting the crowd into it.
Wake trailed by as many as 17 in the first 20 minutes. Stevens looking for a safety valve. Kerfman stepping back. Well defended. Williams was out there to defend Kerfman.
Yeah, they made that switch defensively later in the first half. Seemed to work pretty well.
We saw Kerfman hit a three-pointer from the F in the Wake Forest logo in that first half, so you know about his range. Williams, competing against 2 and 3 defenders, saves it. Williamson. Watch that shot clock, Mike. It's down to 7 for Williams.
Well, he had really been there to bail them out in every offensive position, and an early timeout by Dan Earl. He doesn't like the start of this half.
First 8 points belong to Wake Forest and Williams.
The holidays are at Raising Cane's, and so is the Peanuts gang.
I have a long list of presents that I want.
Like cook-to-order chicken fingers and cane sauce? How about Peanuts gift cards and plush puppies that benefit pet organizations?
Isn't he the cutest thing?
Happy holidays from Raising Cane's. One love.
We can't help you with your passion for ceramics, or macrame, or wood carving. But we can provide you with relevant insights, focused guidance, and investing knowledge to help you shape the retirement you want. At T. Rowe Price, we know retirement, not crafting. Get insights for retirement investing today at troweprice.com.
Of this second half, Williams is 7 of 9 and 18 points. Mike, the rest of the team is 4 of 19 and 19 points, and they're on the 8-0 run.
But this is exactly the start that they needed in the second half. Come out and really was sparked by that first three by Musis.
VMI again trying to go back door. The miss on the three-pointer for Conway. He does have a made three in the game. Williamson on the handle around the Walton screen, and it works.
Yeah, he had really struggled in the first half, and especially without LaRavia, they need him to pick it up offensively. Nice controlled jump shot.
Williamson's got 5 points after that bucket, and the first 10 points of the second half belong to the Demon Deeks. Trying to protect the home court, Mike. They're perfect so far this season. 7-0 at home. They've won 3 games in a row, including the win on Saturday here on this floor against USC Upstate in convincing fashion by 26 points. Mann's on the move. Got fouled by Mucius, his first.
His first team foul.
5 points in the game for Mucius, 1 of 5 from the floor. Mann's on the inbounds.
Yeah, I think for VMI, they're going to need to get more out of Stevens in this half. the three-point shooting really carried him, but he needs to get more involved offensively.
9 made threes in the first half for the Keydets. Mans, that'll be a traveling violation, but he got tied up there by C. Mike defensively for Wake.
That's the thing, C is not a shot blocker. That's the one thing that he can't do that Walton provides them, but he's got the quickness and the length to get out, and it bothered that three, forced the turnover that time.
C has only taken one shot in the game, and he made it, so 2 points for C. Against the Virginia Military Institute. Keydets making the trip from Lexington, Virginia. Long rebound off the Williamson miss to Williams. He'll take the shot. He will also miss. Pulled down by Bonham. VMI has not scored a point in the last 6 minutes until Stevens.
Yeah, and they'll play Walton with him one-on-one. They don't need to send a double team, and frankly, they've got to stay at home in their three-point shooters. So that was nice patience by Jake Stevens.
7 points now for Stevens, who is 8th in the SoCon as he pulls down the rebound in scoring with almost 17 per game. Long-range three, missed from Conway.
VMI 0 of 3 now from behind the arc to start off the second half.
To the corner, C.
That's the thing, man. If you're Jake Stevens, you got to like playing on this team because you won't see a lot of double teams as the season goes along with the shooters that he has around him. Here he goes to work again alone. Nice defense by Walton.
It was Walton holding his ground, and here's Williams. Thinking about trying to do it himself. Not high enough on the square, and Stevens pulls it down for the Keydets. They want to run. Out ahead is Mans, and Kerfman found him.
Nice look ahead that time. A sloppy transition defense by Wake Forest.
Mans had the hands, but he's got 5 points. 18 points in the game for Williams. 7 of 11 shooting. Gives this one up, Williamson. Trying to work it baseline. The foul against the Keydets. So Wake Forest made a run. Scored the first 10 points of this half. But up ahead, it's Mans beating everyone to the rim. And the lead is 7 for Visit. Trying to come back from trailing by 13 points to VMI at halftime. That's Robert and Peggy Neal, season ticket holders for Demon Deacon basketball for 50 years. We salute them. They've got a great view of the game tonight, and it's competitive, Mike. VMI has come to play against Steve Forbes and the Demon Deacons.
And they've seen a lot of great basketball over the years, and a resurgence I'm sure they're hoping for under Steve Forbes. That goes, Carl Tacey, and then we talked about Dickie Hemrick and Len Chappell, those teams, Hemrick in the 50s.
Final four for this Wake Forest program in 1962. The one and only trip to the Final Four for the Demon Deacons. Williams tries to carve his way. Had to send it on the perimeter of Busius and a misfire. Stevens will show and go on Walton. Stayed with him. Blocked it, but committed the foul.
Walton on the, and it's basically clearing out and letting Stevens have room to operate on the right-hand side.
So as Stevens goes to the free throw line, keep in mind the Keydets have not beaten Wake Forest since December 1st. Back in 1940, and that game was played here in Winston-Salem. As you noted, Mike, astutely so, both teams were part of the Southern Conference. It was a 1-point win on the road for VMI, 44-43.
There you go. And that was a good timeout by Dan Earl, and all of a sudden that lead was down to 5. Now they've stretched it back out a little bit.
Walton thought about the straightaway 3. Thought otherwise to Hildreth. Trying to get the defender in the air, and he did it over Stevens, the big man.
Just that pump fake gave him a little bit of room inside. Talking about Stevens, not going to block a lot of shots in this game.
It's 9 points for Hildreth. Inside and a wide open man is Tang.
It's just that time Walton fell asleep. Didn't have an idea where the cutter was behind him.
First two for Tang. Here's Williams. Trying to operate out of the corner. Little isolation against two defenders, and he's earned free throws.
There's that look. You see everybody's looking at the basketball and a great back cut behind. This is a very good passing team. They make good decisions with the ball.
It's a third foul on Conway. Williams now 3 for 3 from the free throw line. Talking about the assists for Wake Forest, Mike. They're second in the conference. 15 assists per game average.
They only got 4 so far in this game, so not a lot coming out of the offense or baskets leading from passes.
So Williams now to 20 points with that free throw. 5th time this season he's gone for 20 or more. And they're going to need him tonight, trailing by 7, crossing the 14-minute threshold, and the foul will go against Wake Forest. Williamson picked up his first.
Got to switch that time. Wake going with a little bit smaller lineup out there right now.
Williamson is the senior from right here in Winston-Salem. And a transfer from East Tennessee State, where Steve Forbes used to be the head coach. Stevens in traffic, a congested area. It's knocked away, and here's Williams.
Well, at the shot, at the point of attack, he had 3 bodies around him. That was a tough finish. Good defense.
Mucius. C. Ran into the wall of defenders. C tried to get it back from Williams, an attempted save on the baseline, and it will stay at this end of the floor as Bonham could not save it for VMI.
It's probably better for Wake Forest to have a little reset on that play. That was a little bit of a fractured possession.
Roll back into the lineup for VMI. Bonham going to the bench. He's got 4 points. Williams. Cool breeze, 3-pointer bounced out. Hildreth on the offensive glass. And then he got fouled. Got tangled up with Rowe under the basket. They gave it to Tang. That's his second personal foul.
Well, we talked about other people stepping up, and Hildreth is he's really had a quiet, nice game so far. 9.6 rebounds for him.
And that's above his season average of 5.5 points per game for the freshman from England. C on the baseline. Around Stevens, didn't get the bounce. Staying with it is C, preserving the possession. Williams a little too quick, and he traveled. That's 9 turnovers in the game for Wake Forest.
Entering for the Keydets, number 2, Trey Bonham.
You heard Bonham announced to the crowd, right back in to the lineup.
At least Wake has gotten Kerfman quieted down some, has not scored so far in this half after 16 in the first.
Kerfman led everybody after the first 20 minutes with those 16 points.
And Huff hasn't scored either in this half.
They go into the corner, that's Tang. Williamson on the weak side. Hildreth on the giddy up.
Let's see if they got a smaller cover on Williams, see if he can get over the top of him.
Trying to shake Tang. Put a little muscle into that move, and that's the 3rd personal foul on Louis Tang. Junior from Taiwan picking up the foul. Forceful move from Williams, who will trigger the inbounds. It's a near steal as Bonham got in the way. Witt got it back.
And the clock never started. Let's just do a redo on that whole possession.
Bert Smith, Tommy Morrissey, Jamel Spearman are officials this evening. On top of that, as the clock did not start to move, clock rolls for Hildreth. He's got a lane around Stevens. The follow is a jam from C.
What happens when you get penetration, opens up the offensive glass.
Kerfman, long range.
Well, he had one from the F in the first half. He got the W in the second half.
Looking for some vowels from Pat Sajak. Has been the wheel of fortune for Kerfman. 19 points. Williams ran into his defender who hit the deck. Bonham's complaining, but he's going to get whistled for the personal. So that's the second on Bonham. Wake Forest dominating the rim. Hildreth missed. The C was angry that day, my friends, as he jams that one and bends the rim. Hadim C.
We can't help you perfect your pie crust or bake the world's greatest banana bread, but we can help you find the sweet spot between your everyday expenses and your retirement goals. With our guidance and insights, we'll help you put together a recipe for the retirement you want. At T. Rowe Price, we know retirement, not baking. Explore your options with our financial consultants today at troprice.com.
VMI leading Steve Forbes' team by 13 at the half. Deeks came back to close the gap to 42-39, and that is as close as they've been able to get in this second half.
There's the look, and after the quick start, Wake Forest 2 of their last 11. Missed some easy shots in the paint area. And let's see, I mean, that the guy they couldn't afford to get hot was Camden Kerfman. He hit that long three.
As you mentioned, Michael, those are his first points of the second half after going for 16 of the first half for Kerfman. He is the leading scorer for this team on the season, close to 18 points per game for number 10 in red. Shot clock is at 8. This is Williams. Mucius on the weak side. C. He is dominating the rim. Witt was able to keep it alive. Right to Williams, stepping into the three. Rattles out. Stevens, the board, got tangled up with Hildreth.
They're going to call a foul on Hildreth going the other way. Looked like both of them. I thought it was going to be a jump ball.
It's the second personal foul on Hildreth, battling with Stevens.
Let's take a look at it. Yeah, I mean, he had inside position. Man, I didn't see a foul on that play.
So Hildreth picks up the foul. Stevens coming off of his 28-point performance, a season high in the win against Gardner-Webb on Saturday at home. Kerfman wants to launch another three. Wow.
Remember what I said about keeping him quiet in the first half? Just took that 1-3 to get the pilot light relit.
22 points. C for three. Hildreth. And this time, his hard work pays off.
I'll tell you what, that last foul didn't stop his aggressiveness inside. He has been a force on the offensive glass. There's that look. And these are some deep threes that Kerfman has been knocking down in this game.
So Kerfman now with 6 made threes in the game, Mike. And that ties his career high for threes made in a single game. Williams driving. Whistle on the Williams drive.
Let's see what happens in the last 11 minutes here, Tommy, because right now VMI is almost at their average for three-point baskets in a game. They've got 11. They average 12 a game. See if Wake can cut that down.
It's also the third personal on Kerfman, who has to leave the game, Mike, with 22 points. Career high is 27. Scored those 27 at Marist this season.
I don't know that Dan Earl's going to be able to go a long time with him out on the bench.
So 21 points now for Williams. Following up his triple-double of 16 points, 14 boards, and 10 assists on Saturday against USC Upstate. He hasn't missed from the free throw line.
Well, he won't scare a triple-double in this game only because he's got to score. He will not be passing the basketball much.
He does have 2 assists, 4 rebounds, and 22 points. And he and Kerfman are the leading scorers, both with 22. That pass goes out of bounds, trying to find Huff. It's going to stay at this end of the floor off of Wake.
Yeah, it looked like it bounced off of Musa's hip.
On the inbounds, an open 2.
And that's way too open. Just an easy walk-in layup on a direct pass.
5 points for Conway off the inbounds. And now 10.5 minutes to go in regulation.
If they can keep this lead up with Kerfman on the bench, that's going to be huge for VMI.
Williams looking to score and looking to get to the free throw line to complete the old-fashioned three-point play.
Yeah, great take that time, using his size, stopping the clock. Absorbed a few hits right there, and then you see 3 Keydets around him.
4th on Mans. And Williams to the free throw line. 6 for 6 on the night. Make it 7 for 7.
And just an example of how you can get better through the transfer portal. And there's the answer to the question. Wanted to get Kerfman back in the game quickly.
So the lead is 8. Keydets with the basketball and the lead. After leading by 13 at halftime. Huff was able to get to it. Inside of 10 minutes to go now in the second half.
If you're Wake's perimeter people, you have to hang in there for those long rebounds.
Demon Deeks are 5-0 against VMI in Joel Coliseum, but have trailed the whole way tonight.
So last win was the last century.
Wake Forest has won 15 in a row in the series. Stevens back on his way down.
They call it on the ground, and I almost came up with the charge that time. He kind of pulled the chair out from underneath Stevens. He was backing him down. Watch this. It's just... Man, that's just... Stevens just throws it in reverse and just backs down anybody who's been guarding him.
Stevens, 266 pounds. Hadim C, 240 pounds. Stevens, 6'11", C, 6'10".
Man, it's 2 direct passes from underneath out of bounds that have led to easy baskets.
So Watkins with his first points of the night. Williams wants the answer. Comes up short. Walton put the shoulder down. Contact and a foul. Second foul on Stevens.
He did a nice job. Remember, he picked that one. He picked his first one up early in the game and has done a nice job stretching it out so far.
Dallas Walton, Mike, has just 2 points after getting the double digits in the last 2 games. 17 points in the win at Virginia Tech and 14 against USC Upstate on Saturday.
But this is the big advantage that Wake Forest has in this game so far. Perfect. They're outscoring VMI by 13 as of this point from the free throw line.
That is the first miss of the game from the line. Wake had been 16 of 16 prior to that. Despite the miss, it's a 10-point game, and inside of 9.5 minutes to go in our second half. The floater rolls off the rim, and Hildreth has it. Hildreth got the defenders in the air.
Did a nice job to keep his balance there. He came close to traveling on that, but a good finish in traffic.
It's 11 points in double digits for Hildreth. 5th time this season he's got to double digits in scoring. Stevens trying to bump his way down. Watkins found an alley to the rim, too strong. And then the Keydets commit a foul. And is that Stevens again, Mike? Could be his third.
Yep.
Bonus situation for Wake Forest.
It's another big thing they've got going in their favor with just under 9 minutes to go here, slowing the game down, getting to the free throw line where they've been very productive.
Walton at the line for the Deacs. Teams last met in November of 2013. It was a 98-71 win here in Winston-Salem for Wake Forest.
I get it, with where Stevens is for fouls and Kirkman both, you probably see a lot of zone from VMI as this game winds down.
The lead is 6. Wake had trimmed it to 3 earlier in the half after trailing by 13 at halftime and by as many as 17 in the first half. Conway bounces around to Williams. Up ahead, Walton. Running the floor, flips it up and misses.
Tough shot. That pass led him behind the backboard. It was going to be a tough finish.
This is Huff. Huff hits the shot from the paint.
This is a tough team to play when you're behind as well, because you got to chase them out on the three-point line. It opens up a lot of stuff to the rim.
13 points for Huff. Williams driving. Foul. That on Conway. So Conway picks up the foul for VMI. They've still got the lead. 63-55 here in Winston-Salem.
It's very slow to work into it offensively, but had to step it up. He was basically their offense in the first half, and that's continued into the second half. Really done a nice job mixing up jump shots and drives inside, getting to the free throw line as well. 7 of 7 on the game.
He made some history on Saturday with that triple-double, 16 points, 14 boards, and 10 assists. First since Tim Duncan in 96. Wake is hoping that VMI doesn't come to Winston-Salem and make history of its own. Extremely competitive ball game between the Demon Deacs and the Keydets. And somebody has been practicing his free throw shooting. 9 for 9 in the game for Williams. 27 points, Mike Jaminski.
Yeah, it came in 64% on the season.
And they have needed every free throw. Walton couldn't get to that one. Was it Kerpen with the angle to the rim and 24 points.
Here's the look, and again, those, that's going to be there, especially with Kerfman. You want to cover out on the three-point shot, and he just takes what's available. Good back cut, good pass.
Camden Kerfman, 6'1", got it over top of Dallas Walton, 7-footer for Wake Forest. Williamson. Walton took a poke at it. Ball came to Kerfman. He is 9 of 14. He's got 6 made threes. Of the 12 made by VMI, and that's basically right on their season average, Mike, for made threes in a game. Second best in the nation in that total. Kerfman trying to direct some traffic as the shot clock goes inside of 10. High arcing fade, raises the front of the rim and all the way to Williamson.
Boy, they're throwing everybody at Kerfman. That time C was guarding him, made him take a tough shot.
Hildreth, C. Williamson. Reaching in Stevens.
And that's his fourth, and that's one that's a giveaway foul right there. You have to be smarter than that. Just under 7 minutes to play, and you get a reach around foul right there. You're not going to get this pass. That's an easy call for the referees.
So with the double bonus, it sends Walton to the free throw line. 5 of 6 from the stripe. Wake as a team is now 21 of 22, Mike. They came in shooting 71%, 9th in the ACC, and Stevens, with those 4 personals, has to lead the ball game.
Well, and that's one area, and VMI is terrific from the free throw line, over 80% of the team, but only been there 3 times.
22 of 23 from the free throw line for Wake Forest, and the lead is 6 for VMI. Conway, Huff, got by C. Hildreth with the help. Williams has it. Threads it all the way to Hildreth. Didn't get the bounce and ends up in the front row. Tangled up with the photographers.
5 on 4.
Watkins.
Really nice job of Wake covering up for Hildreth, who was slow to get back into the play. He had to get out of the camera people.
Approaching 6 minutes to go in regulation. Deeks in a tussle with the Keydets. Williams. Hildreth trying to get around Watkins, and he committed the foul. Third on Hildreth. Dan Earl's team has been impressive tonight, shooting 45% this half and 45% for the game, and connecting on 12 3-pointers on 32 chances. 33rd is a miss from Kerfman. Williamson doesn't have enough on it. Conway. Rowe trying to feed it to Huff. Watkins the miss.
Yeah, all their threes lately have been contested threes.
Inside for Wake Forest. They've missed their last 5 shots, but not that one from Williams, and he's got 29. Timeout, Steve Forbes at Wake Forest.
It has been all Alondas Williams in this game. A terrific drive under control. This was all him creating against the entire VMI team. Good, strong finish inside.
Alondas Williams, the transfer from Oklahoma, spent 2 years with that program, including a trip to the NCAA tournament a season ago. And you see the emotion and investment from Alondas Williams.
Is there a guy who's had more impact through the portal than Alondas Williams has had with this program?
Amazing. 29 points now. 9 of 17 shooting, Mike. Couple of threes. And 9 of 9 from the free throw line for Alondas Williams. 5th time this season he's gone for 20 points or more.
And let's see, I saw Jake Stevens checking back in, and they need him on the floor. But let's see if they try to do maybe some offense for defense with him, have him in on the offensive side of the court, and then get a sub for him.
So the lead is now 4. Wake got as close as 3, 42-39 earlier in this half when they reeled off the first 10 points of this half. And the Demon Deeks have never led Stevens and VMI, who is back in with his 4 personal fouls.
Take a look, see if they can come out. This will be a big lift for them if they can execute and get a 2 or a 3 out of this timeout. Stretch the lead back out.
9 points for Stevens, and that includes a made 3-point basket. 4-point advantage for the Keydets. Stevens came up short. VMI ends up with the basketball and Mans. Now Kerfman fires away. Angular rebound into the corner, and it's Williamson.
Boy, lucky to come away with that with no points, when Kerfman had a really good look.
37-32 lead on the boards for Wake Forest. 29 points for Williams. Backing down and laying it in. 31 21 points, Alondis Williams.
Stevens can't come over to help defensively, so it's just he's got everybody at his mercy right now.
Keydets have missed their last 6 shots. It's a 2-point game. Stevens hit the cutter and the ball got knocked out of bounds. C and Williams were there. And time now for tonight's CPI security protecting the paint. That's exactly what Wake did on that last possession. As C and Williams were able to get there on the driving mans.
Let's see if they can. Wake has had some issues defending on this underneath out of bounds.
Just over 4 minutes to go now in regulation. Conway, catch and release. Shot clock was at 6. That ball hit the floor, but Walton got to it. Chance to tie or take the lead. Williamson for 3. Halfway down and out, and there's Kerfman.
It's going to be big. I mean, Wake they've never led in this game.
Demon Deeks now 5 of 26 on 3-point attempts. Stevens able to regather with the shot clock at 5. Trying to back it down against C. Walton goes up for the rip.
Yeah, that was just a lot of Jake Stevens dribbling around, not a lot of movement, player movement or ball movement.
Walton thought about the 3, gave it up to Musius to give Wake Forest the lead.
That's a huge psychological step and a timeout by VMI.
It is a 9-0 run for Wake Forest, and the Demon Deeks have their first lead of the night. Isaiah Musius from Walton, open for 3, and he knocks it down. Wake by 1.
We can't help you perfect your pie crust or bake the world's greatest banana bread, but we can help you find the sweet spot between your everyday expenses and your retirement goals. With our guidance and insights, we'll help you put together a recipe for the retirement you want. At T. Rowe Price, we know retirement, not baking. Explore your options with our financial consultants today at troprice.com.
How's that feeling?
Scary as hell? You know exactly how it's feeling.
There's a new breed of explorers taking me to the ends of the earth to discover hidden worlds beyond our senses.
We down here, y'all. We down here.
That was beautiful.
I'm so putting this in a movie.
Welcome to Earth. All episodes now streaming, only on Disney+.
Time for tonight's CPI security protecting the paint. It's the 3rd block of the game for Wake Forest.
And coming at a big time, too. It looked like an easy layup, good recovery on that drive. We're going to give a half, like, you know, they give out half sacks in football. We're going to give a half block out for that.
There's an angry block from C, and then Musius lining up his second 3 of the night to cap a 9-0 run over the last 3 minutes and 52 seconds for Wake Forest to take its first lead of the night by 1, 66-65.
And Musius said he hit a 3 to start the scoring in the second half.
He's up to 20 made threes on the season. Stevens up for the board, bounces around and taken by C. Wake Forest fighting back from 17 points down to the first half and 13 at halftime. Williams on the drive and guarded by Huff.
Yeah, that's good recognition, and there's been a lot of clearing out in this game, and gave him the whole right side to work with. He got a nice switch off on Huff, who's about 7 inches shorter than Williams.
Double bonus, Williams to the free throw line. And that is 10 for 10. 32 points for Williams. That ties his career high, which he set this year against Western Carolina.
He's been on some little run the last couple games. A career triple-double, and now this. And there's the new career high.
Hasn't missed the free throw, G-Man. You're right. 33 points, the new career high. And they needed every single one of those tonight against VMI.
He's got half their offense.
3-point lead for the Deeks inside of 2.5 minutes to go. And a three-pointer from Stevens. And he held that finish for an extra beat.
They couldn't go any longer with him on the bench. 4 fouls.
About 13 threes in the game and a double-double for Stevens with 12 points and 10 boards. Musius. Oh, he's got another one from the corner. 11 points for Musius. 3 threes for Musius. Now back on defense. Wake gets it. Williamson able to grab it and give it to Williams. Couple of clutch threes from Isaiah Musius. And now Williams. Running out of room in the box score. 35 points for Williams. Attempted drive at the other end.
He was slow to work into this game too, but just incredible control, mid-range game. Has been knocking down threes, getting to the rim, getting to the free throw line. I tell you, I would think if he gets to the line consistently, he's going to be in that 20-point range, maybe a little bit higher, and I think his free throw percentage will go up as well, getting reps there.
First free throws of the night for Mans, and he earns another one.
Only the 4th free throw of the game for VMI.
Williams is 11 of 11 from the line himself. And only 1 miss on the night for Wake Forest from the stripe. Mans has a couple. That's Tang back into the lineup. He has a lone basket. 7 points for Mans as he takes a seat next to Coach Earl. 3-point lead for Wake Forest and Williams. Trying to dribble his way. Grabbed it in the corner. Works his way through the paint, off the rim. C had it for a moment, taken away. Looked like Conway in there to take it away for the Keydets. And here's the final minute. Stevens back door. That was blocked.
Well, a terrific defensive play by C.
Denied Conway. Wake by 3. 40 seconds to go. 35 points, a career high night for Alondas Williams. Deep into the shot clock. Trying to get by 2 defenders prior to the drive by Williams, a foul. And that was Bonham who hit the deck.
There's the look. I mean, there's nobody back there. A beautiful cut, nice pass, everything but the finish. And he even tried to go up underneath on the backside of the rim, but C with the long arms getting the block.
4th block of the night for Wake Forest defensively. And now Williams at the line. That is first miss of the night. Had been 11 for 11. He's also got 11 field goals, a couple of 3-point baskets, and 35 points.
Big one here to get it back up, get it to a 2-possession game.
Count his free throws, Mike, against USC Upstate. He had made 16 straight prior to that miss. That'll stay down. And a critical point to make it 74-70. 27.5 seconds to go in regulation. So the timeout taken by Wake Forest, which trailed by 13, Mike, at the break. They came roaring out of the locker room.
Well, that was the first shot of the second half, and that really got them rolling offensively. And VMI had to call a quick timeout. And Musius has had he's had a terrific game. Hildreth has joined him in double figures, but it really has been Alondas Williams. What a marvelous night for him. career game, 36 points.
7 made threes in the game for Wake Forest. And they have cranked up the heat of the second half and lead by 4. Trailed by as many as 17 in that first half. And they've done it on the defensive end as well, Mike. VMI is 1 of its last 13 field goal attempts.
This has got to be pretty quick hitting by VMI. Get something up, see if they get a 3 or a really quick 2. Nice defense by Williams. That's against a smaller Trey Bonham out front.
VMI has taken the timeout with just over 23 seconds to go. Demon Deeks coming all the way back to take the lead. They've got it by 4 late in the second half.
Vivid Seats, your ticket to soul-raising, heart-racing, 100 beats per minute. What are we wearing? Once-in-a-lifetime memories in the making. Bumps like a goose brisket for tailgating. Reach for the universe, rapid breathing. Can't catch my breath, top of lungs singing. This is it. The moment is now. Can you believe it? Wow. Get your tickets at Vivid Seats. Life happens live.
The holidays are at Raising Cane's, and so is the Peanuts game.
I have a long list of presents that I want.
Like cook-to-order chicken fingers and cane sauce? How about Peanuts gift cards and plush puppies that benefit pet organizations?
Isn't he the cutest thing?
Happy holidays from Raising Cane's. One love.
And improved to 10-1. And they are 23 seconds away from that with a 4-point lead after trailing by double digits at halftime to visiting VMI.
And if you're VMI on the flip side after this, Walton is the guy you want to try to foul. And that's what you don't want to have happen. The quick foul stops the clock, puts VMI at the line.
Dallas Walton, second personal foul. Kerfman at the free throw line, 1-1. He has not visited the free throw line tonight.
He's barely visited the three-point line. He's been a good 5 feet behind it the whole game.
He has stretched it out in ode to Steph Curry, who just broke the NBA record for threes tonight.
Missed
from Kerfman.
Yeah, on a one-on-one. Got to be a quick foul.
Mike, he was 91% on the season from the free throw line. He's made some incredible shots tonight, but he'll be thinking about that one if VMI comes out on the short end of this game against Wake.
You got to throw those stats out in a close game down the stretch. Different type of pressure, but he's had a marvelous game.
He had been 20 of 22 from the free throw line. Here's Hildreth. He's 4 of 4 from the line. How about the Demon Deeks from the free throw line tonight, Mike?
It's been the game. I mean, it's been the free throw line, and it's been Alondas Williams. That's really the story of this win. Plus, second half, Tom, VMI 4 of 17 from 3.
VMI shooting just 32% as a team. Final seconds in the second half. And now the Keydets throw it away. What a comeback victory. If this score holds up in the last 5 seconds for Wake Forest.
I'll tell you, those two were hugging, played a big part of this second half, and Cameron Hildreth and Isaiah Musis.
It was an uphill climb all night long for Wake Forest and Alondas Williams. 36 points. That's out of bounds off of VMI.
3/10 at least.
They may add some time to the game clock. It says 4.1 right now. How about Williams? 11 of 20 from the floor, Mike. 12 of 13 from the free throw line. And Wake Forest as a team, 26 of 29. Not necessarily their strength coming into the game at 71% as a team.
Outscoring them by 24.
Trailed by 13 at halftime, 42-29.
Well, and they whittled a lot of that down in the first minute. So it got to be a very workable margin.
Yeah, very important 10-0 run to start the second half for Wake Forest. Whatever Coach Forbes said in the locker room, it worked. And we saw him call a very early timeout in this game and get his team's attention. Let's put it that way. Mark.
Yeah, and even with that timeout, VMI was terrific in the first 10 minutes of the game.
Most makes and attempts from the free throw line this season for Wake Forest. Again, 26 of 29 for Coach Forbes. And the fortunes of the Demon Deacs have been completely turned around this season, Mike. Remember last year, they won 6 games in total, 3 in conference play. They've already got a conference win, and this would be win number 10 this season. And Williams has cranked it up. That's a career high with the 36.
Yeah, and that's we said it obviously after the triple-double, but that's I don't know if the season's about a third over right now, but that's an early Player of the Year candidate right there, what he's doing for this program.
And taking a look at the inbounds play here.
They're looking to see who it was off.
Could be.
Because that is under 2 minutes of reviewable play.
Inside of 2 minutes in regulation. They can take a look at that. Also got to get the clock correct. We've got Bert Smith and Jamel Spearman over at the monitor. Want to make sure they get this correct here. Just a few seconds left of the game clock. 75-70. Wake Forest. As a team, they've shot 36%, VMI 39%. The VMI has struggled in this second half.
The Southern Conference regular season could be interesting. You mentioned they've had some big wins non-conference so far, and VMI gave Wake Forest all they wanted to this evening.
Built a 17-point lead in the first half. Wake fought all the way back to this point to lead by 5. 4.1 seconds. It is Wake basketball in the inbounds. Williamson took the inbounds and the foul by Bonham.
He's the other guy, 32 of 34 on the year from the free throw line.
First free throws tonight for Williamson. To put the finishing touches on this one. And Williams encouraging the assembled crowd here at Joel Coliseum. Home of Wake basketball since 1989. And the Demon Deacs want folks to take note this season. Look at this, the 31st free throw of the night for Wake Forest. And Williamson nails it. 1.8 on the clock, and that will do it. How about the comeback from the Demon Deacs, Mike? They win at 77-70. That's the final count. They trailed by 17 in the first half.
Yeah, Alondas Williams carrying them the whole game long. The free throw line coming up big at the end. Some really nice contributions from Hildreth and Musius. But good win. It's a W, and there are going to be plenty of teaching moments in watching this game film for Steve Forbes.
Wake Forest is now 10-1 on the season, 8-0 at home. Perfect on their home court. They have won 4 games in a row. Alondas Williams, the difference tonight, 36 points, a career high for Williams. He was 12 of 13 from the free throw line. And the Demon Deacs as a team, 28 of 31 from the stripe. Don't forget, coming up, Stetson, Miami. That's Monday. ACC basketball. Check your local listings for the game and time in your area. For Mike Cheminsky and our outstanding ACC College Hoops production crew, I'm Tom Wormy saying so long from Winston-Salem, North Carolina.